I'm in Manhattan's Greenwich Village and this is PubKey. Like almost any Manhattan dive bar, it serves beer, nachos, and burgers, but what sets this bar apart is its inescapable Bitcoin theming. PubKey has attracted a growing list of Bitcoin bulls, most notably former President Donald Trump during a 2024 campaign stop.
That's history. History in the making.
Now I'm here to talk to its co-founder, Thomas PubKey, about the bar's role in Bitcoin's culture.
So this is our shrine up front. This is our collection of Bitcoin paraphernalia and special gifts from the community. We get people sending us stuff from all over the world all the time. So this is the price of Bitcoin. We have two tickers. We have one ticker in the shrine and we have this one here. When it starts ripping, people start getting a little distracted, like there's a game on or something. We started accepting Bitcoin a couple months after we opened. 5% of our total revenue is in Bitcoin, and that's definitely growing since the visit by former President Trump. Previous bars used to have pool tables and dartboards back here. We took those out to create a little bit more of a gathering space where we could host the Bitcoin meetups that we do. It effectively is a comedy club for nerds.
I love to talk about Bitcoin, and not everybody is interested, but I come here and I've met so many people that are interested. We talk about it, we meet once a week.
First time in PubKey, first time in New York, and second time in the US.
My two sons have never been. My wife and I have not been for like 20 years. And so we came up to the city to see the things that you do in New York, Statue of Liberty, et cetera, et cetera. And I've been trying to drag them to PubKey for 4 days. And finally today, they acquiesced and I brought them here.
It's not a Bitcoin themed bar. I always kind of bristle when people call it a Bitcoin themed bar. Bitcoin is more in the DNA of the tavern than it being sort of a theme.
On a given night, let's say there's no event, what would you say is the breakdown of enthusiasts versus non-enthusiasts?
Yeah, that's a great question. So on any given night, about 80% of our customers overall are not Bitcoiners. They don't know it's a Bitcoin bar. It's just a good neighborhood dive bar. It's a tavern. This is our co-working space / lounge. We're setting up for a podcast later. We do Twitter Spaces at 4:30. The events typically start at 6. So we'll have the guests and some other special guests come up here and just talk about what we'll be talking about downstairs.
You guys can come a little closer together. All right, it's okay.
Welcome to PubKey. It's Thursday. Live from the pub, well, above the pub. We're in the parlor. What is Bitcoin's political philosophy?
I mean, it's governance, if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's in progress, honestly. There's no definitive answer to that. I think we learn lessons like from the block size war. We learn that some ideas of how it's governed are wrong, but we don't have a definitive picture of how it actually is governed.
We've been gifted so much stuff over the last 2 years, and it's all, we appreciate every last bit of it. We need a bigger shrine. We need a bigger bar to, sort of put this stuff on display. Maybe we'll have a PubKey museum one day to highlight all of these things.
Is that in the works to get a bigger bar?
We're expanding to DC. Yeah, we'll be expanding to other cities and hopefully bring the community and culture and vibe to other, systemically important locations where Bitcoin is becoming more and more of an issue. DC is a natural, fit for us to go to next. I had reached out to all the campaigns, a long time ago. In one form or another, we touched, RFK, President Trump, President Biden, Vice President Harris, just trying to get people interested in coming through, meeting the community where they are, interacting, and trying to make a payment using Bitcoin, because that would have been a cool moment.
And I'm just so curious, did you just flat out ask, hey, can he come and pay in Bitcoin?
Yeah, that was the pitch to everybody. If you think about the historic transactions over the course of Bitcoin's history, you have the pizzas, you have a bunch of ones. But I think it's not for me to decide, but I think President Trump definitely ranks. And that was part of the pitch. I said, think of it like visiting an ice cream shop or a donut shop on the campaign trail. But if you do it here and you pay in Bitcoin, you're going to reach a cohort of single issue voters, in the crypto ecosystem and Bitcoiners. I think that cohort is growing. It's not like, what you would typically think of as a single issue voter cohort. But I think that after the last 4 years and with the growth of the industry as a whole, the crypto voters could turn out in a pretty big way.
I got to go back and see those people.
Let's go.
Come on.
Right this way.
President Trump's obviously been courting them for a while, right? He went to Nashville for the Bitcoin conference. He hosted a roundtable in Mar-a-Lago with Bitcoin miners. He's seen lots of campaign donations or contributions from the industry that are, I would say, dissatisfied with SEC oversight and attention over regulation, and also, the current Biden administration has been pretty punitive towards the industry.
So we're seeing reports that Vice President Kamala Harris might be having a warmer stance on the industry than, let's say, the Biden administration. Given who you're serving, Bitcoiners, maybe yourself, what do you think is the consensus of these recent reports?
Well, I think that people want to see something more substantive. I can speak for myself, not on behalf of PubKey, and we would love to host, the conversation and facilitate this in any way for either party. Again, apolitical from PubKey's perspective. My personal perspective, we haven't seen substantive policy out of the Harris campaign yet. We're really hopeful that we will see something. We would like to see something beyond, like, I will be supportive of blockchain. We want to hear about, things like, how are crypto companies banked? How are they regulated? Support for Bitcoin miners and the touch points that it has with national security and energy independence and energy security. A strategic reserve, like how are we thinking about inflation and how can Bitcoin potentially help Americans and American businesses protect against inflation if we were to put Bitcoin on a balance sheet or have the strategic stockpile or stuff like that.
So another recent visitor you had was Commissioner Hester Pierce,
Yep.
who serves the SEC, which has taken many enforcement actions against crypto companies. So I'm curious to hear what your conversation with her was like, and what do you think her visit says about the current state of crypto regulation here and where you believe it might be headed?
So Commissioner Pierce was here for a small dinner, and it was a fun chat. It was an informal conversation about the different perspectives, the SEC's role when it comes to Bitcoin, when it comes to the ETFs, when it comes to crypto, projects, whether they're securities or not. It was a far-ranging conversation, and it was great. She has definitely been one of the most open-minded supporters of the innovation that's taking place in Bitcoin and crypto. It got deep, to be honest, and it was a really cool conversation to have.
Tonight we are interviewing Troy Cross. He is a bit of a celebrity in the Bitcoin space, probably the thought leader at the intersection of Bitcoin and the environment.
I'm going to talk about energy. Basically, I think Bitcoin's energy use is probably the most misunderstood aspect of Bitcoin, and I'm going to explain how Bitcoin is designed to use only the cheapest energy in the world.
You mentioned PubKey, like Bitcoin, is apolitical. So I kind of want to just give you this time to address that, and specifically, I guess, what you're doing to move this to become more of a bipartisan issue.
We've invited everybody. We want to, there is an open invitation. Have we invited everybody directly? No, not every single senator or representative, no. But everybody is welcome, even if people hate Bitcoin and they think it should be regulated and pounded into the center of the earth. Let's have the conversation as to why and how that would happen. And, does it benefit Americans? Does it benefit American businesses? Does it benefit America on the global stage? We just want to help facilitate that conversation.